What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector, and I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you that have been making this channel what it is becoming. We are inching ever so close to 1,000 subscribers. This channel has seen a lot of growth over the past couple days, and hopefully we can break that 1,000 subscriber threshold, but I can't do that without your help. So if you like what you see and you enjoy the content, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, smash the like button, comment in the comment section below, and also hitting the bell to receive notifications. I do upload quite frequently. And I do have an eBay store called the Carolina Collector 001. The link is always in the description box below of every video I upload. And thank you to all of my customers across the board. You guys and gals have been just incredible. So I wanted to put this out there because recently I uploaded a video concerning my Paul Skeens rookies. And they came within that 2 to 3 week threshold that normally every time I've submitted to SGC, they've been consistent across the board. And my orders really are not that big. I mean, I've probably sent out maybe like 12 cards at once or 14 cards at once or something like that. But I've never sent out gigantic orders. And this most recent order was those 8 Paul Skeens rookies, which two or three of them, I believe it's 3 of them. I listed over at my eBay store. So if you're interested, check them out. It helps to support me and support the channel, and I can roll that right back into the hobby. As a matter of fact, I took some money from my eBay stuff so that this way I can modify this new camera stand that I have here. Unfortunately, it arrived broken. So I had to replace this portion here that actually grips my phone, and it has an LED light on top of it, but the ferrule snapped off, and the seller thought he was going to get away with it, and I complained, and I ended up getting the whole thing for free. So I had to go to Micro Center, took that refund money, replaced the whole section, and today I went to Lowe's and I bought some quarter-inch lock washers and nuts and bolts and wing nuts, so that this way I can literally at any time move this thing up and down, left and right, you know, swivel it this way. Sorry. Whoa! Got to have a little fun, ladies and gentlemen. But there's pretty much nothing I can't do with this camera at this point. So anyway, I just wanted to put something out there because recently I submitted the Barry Bonds auto to SGC. They're my go-to company. I've never had issues up until now. So what happened? I submitted the Barry Bonds auto. It was, forgive me if I'm playing with the camera here, it was submitted last week early on. I did plop it in the mailbox, I think Monday or something like that of last week. And it didn't get there until, I believe, Friday, if not Saturday. I would have to look at the tracking number. But it did get to Florida, where it's supposed to go. It's now 2 days later, and I haven't received any updates as far as whether or not they received it or not. Usually, when you go onto the website, and in particular on the app makes it real easy. There's usually a circle where it'll have the order number. And if you click on view all, whatnot, you can go through your individual submissions and whatnot. And obviously I submitted the Barry Bonds auto. That was a given. And it was received as far as when you look at the tracking number, it was delivered. It's now Tuesday. And SGC has never taken this long to actually post any of my submissions. I can't speak for any of you because I know everybody's experience is subjective. Subjective meaning per person. Everybody has different experiences. So I did finally get an email from them because I messaged them on X. I emailed them twice. I messaged them on the app. I messaged them on the website just in case, like, because of the nature of that card, you know, that's not a card that you want to trifle with, especially the potential value of that card, you know, worries me when you know, it's out there in the public floating around somewhere, but it was delivered to them. And I finally got the email saying that they're literally falling behind, that they got a backlog now. So if you're trying to submit to SGC, just be prepared because, you know, I've never had an issue submitting to SGC. They've always been my go-to grading company. I know everybody feels a certain way about SGC, just like I feel certain things about PSA. I think PSA is just there's too many bells and whistles and too much nonsense involved with submitting to them. Yeah, the monetary value, if you want to look at it that way, there is a difference between the two companies if you're trying to resell stuff. But, at the end of the day, the turnaround time, the price, all of that stuff for me, it just works out for the best as far as I'm concerned. And especially since I live down here in the deep South, I live in North Carolina. So, my packages arrive within 3 to 4 business days. Then I'll wait for about maybe 5 or 7 business days. And then another 5 business days on top of that, boom, my cards arrive. So, I can't go wrong with SGC. When it comes to PSA, I can only imagine a month, 2 months, 3 months, especially now with them changing their grading system to 55-45. And I'm seeing that even SGC is starting to get a little strict, even with these most recent submissions that I got back. I can see that even SGC is starting to tighten up their grading just a little bit. So with all that being said, be prepared if you are submitting to any of these companies. Again, I use SGC exclusively. I'm not paid by them. They're not sponsoring me or anything like that, but you might want to just be patient because this is unusual for SGC. And I think what's happening, number one, why I think PSA tightened up their grading system is to kind of slow down the influx of submissions that are coming in. Now, I am a small business owner. I have an LLC. So I am not making enough money to justify hiring employees or anything like that. I do everything myself. The photography, the eBay listings. I'm always promoting, my eBay store here on YouTube. And, it takes a lot of work, but it's not enough to justify hiring somebody. If I don't have a steady income coming in, why am I going to hire somebody just to pay somebody to sit there? It's not viable. And I think that's the model that PSA is using, that they have a certain amount of graders. I believe they have an office in New Jersey, I believe. You guys and gals can correct me in the comments section. And then they have one out west. So SGC, I think they grade exclusively from Florida. But the advantage with PSA versus SGC is that SGC has all the tech. And that's why the turnaround times are so fast. They have whole teams and everything. I can't speak for PSA. I don't know what kind of systems they use. But clearly SGC, I believe, is one step ahead of PSA when it comes to, actually scrutinizing these cards. But I've even noticed a little bit of a tightening when it comes to their grading, in particular centering. SGC were always finicky when it comes to centering anyway. So I'm kind of used to that sort of thing. So I kind of know what to look for already. And just as one added advantage for myself, I actually ordered for a grading tool, a centering tool, so that this way it kind of helps me to refine the way I submit cards for grading to SGC. Maybe somewhere down the line, I might submit to PSA, but there's just too much going on with those guys. And if they have this huge backlog, and if they tighten up their grip as far as centering is concerned, that means that they're trying to slow down the influx. And I've said this before in the Paul Skeen's submission video that I uploaded recently. Many people that are out there that are submitting these cards to grading companies, they are not collectors. They are flippers. They are no different than the idiots that wait outside sneaker stores for when the next Nike Air Jordans drop. They're not there to wear the shoes. They're simply there to flip them. So people have got wise to this and now are buying up boxes of cards. We saw this with Topps Chrome last year with the Paul Skeen's 1-of-1 patch auto. They couldn't care less about the cards. They just want to make money, and they couldn't care less about the collector. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. I'm a collector first, seller next. That's how it is with me. There are many of us that are out there that operate that way. Yeah, you want to make a little money on the side, but also you want to bolster your collection as well. And a lot of these jackasses are holding these boxes of cards hostage, and you can't get your hands on them. I mean, I foolishly bought, what were they, $80 each, boxes of Topps Chrome mega boxes that I broke here on the channel. What did I get out of them? It should be about the cards first. It should be for the love of the hobby and the cards first. But, you do want to pull something out of there. I mean, unfortunately, this is the nature of the hobby these days. Everybody wants to get those big parallels, the big hits and all that kind of stuff. Me too, But, You know, the way the hobby is going these days with CT scanning, card cleaning, and now you see butthurt people that are out there, you know, crumpling up. I saw this in the Pokemon community when one guy was live streaming and got butthurt because I guess somebody was criticizing him or whatever, and took a pack of like these really expensive Pokemon cards and crushed them and wrote all over them with magic marker. I mean, what the hell is going on with people? I mean, give me a break, man. Like, time out and relax. Not everything is about profit here, folks. You know, and it sucks for a guy like me because, you know, I really want these cards. I want these cards to be preserved. Grading primarily, and the primary function of grading anything is for preservation. It's not just for flipping and making money. Making money is a consequence and a symptom of the grading system. And now people, unfortunately, are taking complete advantage of that, and I think PSA are trying to slow that down a little bit. And I hope the card companies like Panini and Topps and even Fanatics obviously owns Topps, that I hope they're able to do something about the CT scanning. We all know about Kurt's Card Care. We all know it contains chemicals. Over time, that wax can oxidize. I'm actually going to put it out there. I'm experimenting with something off camera, but I'm not quite confident with it yet. I've actually been taking I've been putting the Kurt's Card Care peanut butter on just, you know, I don't want to say low level or low tier baseball cards, but I've actually cut up an old white t-shirt that has 0 stains on it and put the peanut butter on there. I was able to get another tin of the peanut butter and took a hair dryer to it. And the results, well, if the grading companies are watching this, you may want to try to apply a little bit of heat to some of these cards, minus the cards with the signatures on them. As you know, there have been a bunch of signatures that were wiped with the peanut butter because greedy assholes that are out there only care about profit, and they ruined this particular signature. I think it was a Djokovic signature, or however you say his name. Dan the Cardman and multiple content creators called this out, that the same person or persons keep submitting the same card again and again, and it keeps getting rejected because the community, and I hate using the C word because community implies communism. But when you have that many people that actually care about the hobby, they're going to watch out for this kind of thing, and rightfully so. So they tried to submit the card again and again, and, you know, kept getting deactivated, which is great, or sent back. So ha ha ha. But the grading companies might want to apply a little bit of heat to these cards and then give it a good swipe with a white cotton swab or a white cotton piece of material. And if you see anything that looks out of the ordinary on that, you know the card's been juiced as far as the wax is concerned. But the greed is so out of control these days that, you know, it's very difficult for even a guy like myself who wants to bolster his collection. I mean, the things that go on, again, I had people, you know, on my eBay store trying to extort me for free cards, and I'm not going to allow that. I don't care how many negative feedbacks I get, you know, which is essentially retaliation for not caving to these people's, you know, greed. But what it boils down to is this, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, the hobby is now beginning to surge. We are out of football season. Topps Chrome dropped. And we are now at the cusp of baseball season starting, so you're going to see all sorts of nonsense again. And you're going to see people that don't care about the hobby. They don't have personal card collections. They take all of the base cards, throw them in a garbage can, or bury them in their backyard, or fill up the holes in their walls. They're probably overweight, big, fat, neck-bearded gamers that are like this, you know, dipping French fries in their belly button. This is your typical box breaker, by the way, you know, sitting there trying to milk you guys and gals for all your money. Buy into my box break. Buy into my box break at 9 p.m. Eastern Central Time. You know, so I can make money because I can't hold a normal job. Now, mind you, I'm a retired construction worker who got all screwed up because I volunteered at the World Trade Center site, sued the federal government in New York State, and of course, you know, I'm at where I'm at right now. So if anybody tries to call me out, well, you know, I can afford to do all of this stuff, which is why I started my small business in the first place, you know. But you have a lot of these worthless people out there that don't care about the hobby. They really don't. They just care about profit and flipping cards and flipping cards. They don't have any card collections of any kind. Well, the only kind of collections they probably have are parking tickets and credit card debt in the form of bills. Yeah, oh, they got collections, all right. But just be a little patient if you're submitting to these companies. This is the first time I ever had this happen with SGC. I was very, very surprised at that. Because by now, I mean, they're very, to me anyway, I know, I actually commented in kudos to Junk Wax Hero. Really great content creators, always talking about, you know, the hobby and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of his. And I commented in one of his videos recently about my experience with SGC because he's like, what the hell? He made a video very specific very recently about, you know, submitting to PSA and what the hell is going on and what's with all this mess. And he did respond, and there's like a little conversation going on, which is kind of neat, which prompted me to make this video, by the way. But yeah, to see SGC now falling behind, that's very odd because they've never fallen behind before. And I've only been back in a hobby for going on what, 1.5 to 2 years, something like that. And I've never had issue with SGC. So this is something new. So just be aware of that if you are submitting to them or any of the grading companies. You know, unfortunately, with the influx of all these cards, you know, and a lot of guys have been saying it, that people are getting fed up with PSA and, you know, the inconsistencies with them. I'm not here to bash PSA. I'm not trying to slander them, but this is based on what people's opinions are across the board. But, you know, collectors, true collectors, and people like myself who collect first, sell next, are starting to voice their frustrations, me included. You know, when the grading companies start falling behind, you know, you have every right to be worried, like I am. That Barry Bonds card, I've seen it go on eBay for at least $1,200. That's not chump change, you know. And if the card does come back a great grade, that's going to bump the value up, you know, to the high heavens, you know. And that's a nice placeholding card for myself because I've never had a card like that before, you know. And to pull it on camera for everybody was just amazing, you know. But at the same time, you know, you have to worry a little bit. You know, when you have a super expensive card that's kind of like into ether, you know, you have every right to kind of be concerned. So, but at least they responded. You know, I know Junk Wax Hero said that they're lazy and they don't respond. I've seen several other content creators that have spoke about this issue, that SGC is really bad at responding. They responded to me only because I was persistent and kept messaging them until I finally got a response today, as a matter of fact. So they basically said, just be patient. They're falling behind a little bit. And hopefully they'll update the app in my personal account so that this way at least I know. But they got the card. So that's like a big weight off my shoulders. Thank God, you know. But I just thought I'd put that out there for everybody. I mean, you know, it's a rotten shame that true collectors now are having to compete with these, you know, overweight, teeth broken off at the gum line, Marlboro smoking, beer belly, can't see what's between their legs when they're taking a leak, you know, donut eating, dipping French fries in their belly button with ketchup, you know, types that don't collect. They're out there simply to take the cards out of your hands, out of my hands, and flip them on eBay or whatnot or whatever have you. It's like ridiculous. So, and I firmly believe that's why PSA tightened their standards. And I think SGC and the other companies, including Beckett, which I believe now is under new ownership, I think they're all going to follow suit because, listen, they're going to be like lemmings. They're all, even though SGC, PSA is the parent company of SGC now, I think all these companies are going to be like lemmings. So if one goes off the cliff, they're all going to go off the cliff. If one climbs the mountain, they're all going to climb the mountain. So expect this to have a snowball effect, you know, down the line. So I'm confident in SGC. They haven't let me down yet. I was just a little shocked by that. And it's funny, and it happens to be coincidental that I commented about this on Junk Wax Heroes YouTube page, that PSA video he just made, and now this happens. You know, so it's like, whoops. So anyway, just you know, use due diligence and pay attention. And if you have to pester them. You know, it's money. Especially with that Barry Bonds auto, that's a very valuable card. I try not to look at the value, but it's just for a guy like myself that's never had a card like that before. Yeah, I get worried about it. You should be. But especially with all the scams going on, card swapping, you know, and the cleaning of cards and CT scanning, you know, and, you know, extorting sellers like myself. You know, with guys trying to get free cards off of getting free cards off of us as sellers, it really sucks. So anyway, there's a lot more videos to come. I actually got 2 jumbo boxes that I bought that I've already recorded those breaks. I still have 15 hangers, as a matter of fact. Let's just test out my camera rig here. You can see them sitting on my workbench right there. So I'm not going to open them up just yet because I kind of need a break from box breaks and ripping packs and all that kind of stuff. I got some other stuff I want to review first before I get those boxes open. But like I said, I got 2 videos with the 2 jumbo breaks that I bought recently. Thank you, everybody that's been commenting on my videos and supporting the channel. Don't forget, check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box below. I really have been falling behind. I'm not going to lie to you guys, which is another reason why I'm on YouTube. When it comes to my eBay sales, there's always transparency there. If something goes wrong, I let you guys know, whether it's YouTube Shorts or if it's with a full-fledged video like this or full-form video. If I ever have any issues or problems, or I get sick, or the post office falls behind, or whatever happens, I take to YouTube immediately, because I don't want you guys to ever have to worry like I'm worrying right now about this autographed Barry Bonds taking so long to show up in my account. So with that being said, everybody, thank you so much. Take care. God bless. Stay safe. And I will see you all very soon.